So today I would like to talk about Kurtzpel, the upcoming anime-themed hack and slash MMOlite. Now my last video was showing you guys the gameplay, PvP, PvE, with live commentary, me getting my ass whooped, and doing a bit of ass whooping. But for this video, we are going to be going over my overall thoughts. They are fresh on my mind. I want to discuss a lot of things about this game. Forgive me if this becomes a bit ranty, I don't have a script. Just things that I enjoyed, things that bothered me, what I would like to see changed. But before we get into this, I would like to say I am aware that they are making fixes to the game based off of player feedback. So it does seem that these devs really care, and these tests are actually helping to shape the game into something that those interested will probably stick around with. Now, what is Kurtzpel? As I said earlier, it's an MMOlite. You go on these missions, PvE missions, where you fight a giant boss with mechanics, some of them single player if it's story mode, and some of them are two-player co-op. Or you go into PvP missions where you have different PvP modes, you capture the flag, you do some type of king of the hill thing, or you just kill each other. This is cool. I like these missions. However, I don't think that this is enough to keep people interested in this game for years to come. I really think there needs to be more. I think the combat is flashy, I think the look of the game is amazing, the aesthetic is awesome. Anime lovers, oh hell yeah baby, this game is for us. However, just being in this hub and going on these missions, it doesn't feel alive. Only being able to team up with one player, it kind of feels lonely. Is this a game that you would only enjoy with one of your friends? I would really like to see missions that allow more players in the future. And forgive me if some of this has been addressed. I have not watched any of the live streams, I haven't read any of the diaries or dev entries, so if any of this is going to be added, then please let me know in the comment section. So I would like to see things that allow for more party members, making the game feel more alive. It is not an MMORPG. You do not explore a world. You do not go to places with a bunch of players except the hub. Adding some type of raids that allow for 8 players or 6 players, or maybe battlegrounds that have 10 versus 10. Just missions that have more players would make this game feel more alive and make up for it not being an MMORPG, but making it feel better as an MMOlite. And I also don't feel that these PvP modes and PvE missions are enough to carry this game. They have to add different types of modes, or maybe there will be some mobs, maybe there's actual depth to the arenas or to the levels. Now you could argue, well, this isn't that kind of game. It is a PvP game. It's a monster slaying type PvE game. Well, hey, that's cool. If this is what the game wants to be, if it wants to follow this formula of only having solo and duo PvE missions and duo PvP, that's cool. But will the game succeed? Will it maintain a large player base? I believe if it doesn't change, if it doesn't add more content, it will end up like Soul Worker. A great game, a beautiful game, but a game that only right now maintains a very small community. I don't think the game will die, but I think it will capture a community that will stay loyal to it, but it won't capture the community that it wants. It won't grab as many players as it wants. And at the end of the day, that's what these companies want. They want a lot of players to play their game, and I want to see this succeed. I just don't think that what we have, the content that we are getting right now, is enough to carry the game. Now this is only closed beta, the game is still being worked on, and as I said, they are making changes and fixes, and they probably have content planned. So I'm not saying that this is what we are getting, and I don't want you guys to believe that, oh, the closed beta is everything, this is all the game is. No, it's not, because they cut the story missions short. There might be new karmas introduced, there might be new characters added, new bosses, a lot more added to this game. I'm sure they wouldn't give us everything in a closed beta. So again, these are thoughts based off the closed beta. It's not the final game. I just hope that the game can feel more alive. Now, one thing that a lot of us who saw this game, who have been watching this game, we are crying inside because this game looks so good. The combat is so amazing. It would be awesome if this was actually an MMORPG with a world to explore. And if you'd like to hear me express my positive thoughts on the game, you can also watch my first impressions. But, you know, I'll remind you guys what I do like about it. The aesthetic, the theme, the character customization, I love it all. It's probably my favorite when it comes to MMOs and MMOlites. I like the way this game looks. Combat feels really good. It makes you feel like a badass. The impact is amazing. However, the combat is clunky, especially when it comes to PvP. It feels like there is some type of desync. It just doesn't feel like things connect as well. And it also seems that some karmas may be a bit overpowered. Most people seem to agree that the bow is a bit overpowered. It doesn't really bother me, you know, I'll still PvP with the karmas that I like, but it just feels extremely clunky. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what I'm specifically trying to say to you guys right now, but the PvP just does not feel perfect. I'd say my biggest issue with this game is the knockdown cooldown. Now there may be a way to time it right to get up quickly and roll out of your knockdown or before your knockdown, but you knock down an enemy and they have iframes. Iframes exist in games. We dodge roll or we're knocked down. It's kind of only fair that you can't burst down your enemy when they're knocked down for a few seconds, because then you just wombo combo them to death, even though that is possible in this game. I just don't like how you get off a combo, the enemy's knocked down, you have to wait what seems like forever for them to get up and to continue fighting them. Every mini combo, I have to wait for you to get back up, and it's not a regular what we're used to simple second of iframes, you get up and roll. It's like a full-on knockdown where you would think that you broke the enemy's defense and it's time to burst them down, but that's not the case. It's just a waiting game. This even happens to some of the PvE enemies. You knock them down and they have iframes for days, and it's just like, why are we waiting so long? What's going on here? Sometimes I think that I'm the only one that feels like this, and maybe I'm just dumb for finding this to be one of my cons for the game. But when I do express myself, a lot of people seem to think the same thing. The knockdown cooldowns are very annoying. There will be a 5-minute match and it feels like 2 minutes and 50 seconds are spent on being knocked down and waiting to get up and fight again, or waiting on your enemy to get up and fight again. So that is my biggest complaint with the game. Other than that, I do like the mission mode. I do like how you go out in missions. I love the difficulty of some of the PvE. It actually is a challenge. You do have to focus. You do have to time your skills right. There are mechanics. That's amazing. I love the monster design. The PvE bosses, they're sick. They are sick. Some of them are massive. Some of them are sexy. Some of them were made to make our lives living hell, but it's difficult PvE, and I like that. The balancing was kind of all over the place, because in the beginning of taking on a few missions, there was a boss that was one-shotting me. He was extremely hard, but then the next boss I could kill within 2 minutes without getting touched. So the difficulty of some of the PvE early on might need some adjusting, or mission bosses just getting swapped around, unless that ruins the story. And then as far as optimization goes, the game ran pretty smooth, but when you're in the central hub, it definitely can get a bit laggy. But for the most part, the game didn't seem super unoptimized to me. I didn't have too much trouble. This wasn't Bless Online or Terra. So at the end of the day, I think it's a good game. I think everyone should try it if you can get a beta key. I'll link them down below so you guys can sign up. From everyone that I played with, we kind of all agree on some of the same things. We wish there was more to it. We wish the game felt more alive, and we all kind of dislike the knockdown cooldown. Now, for those of you that have tried it, I would like to hear your thoughts down below and see how you felt about the game. I will be playing the next beta to see what they've changed, what they've upgraded, and I hope that this game continues to add more content, and I hope it does well, because it's a good game at the end of the day. And as I said, I would like to see it succeed. I don't want to see games keep coming out and dying, or building up hype and just failing. So I guess only time will tell. Until then, thanks for hearing me out. Thanks for letting me express my thoughts in this game, and I will catch you guys in the next one. See you soon, friends.